Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode of the Standing Room Only podcast. This is episode number 20, week 20. We just hit a major milestone. I wasn't sure if Healy was going to be able to tolerate myself for 20 weeks, let alone 10 weeks, but we're doing pretty well. Just want to thank everybody for tuning back in who is an avid listener. To those who are listening for the first time, thank you for joining us. Go ahead and make sure, if you are not already subscribed to us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, we are the Standing Room Only podcast. You can go ahead and follow our Instagram, our Twitter, SR Only Pod, and we also have a YouTube channel as well, if you didn't know, Standing Room Only Podcast. And then we have our own personal accounts. I am iGoose, that's with 4 O's.
And you can find myself at the Healy6, H-E-A-L-Y.
So that's Healy. I'm Goose. Welcome back. To get things started, not too much going on with sports. It's kind of like this little gray area, this dead area where the NFL is transitioning over to through the combine. You have the draft, and then baseball's in spring training. Not a whole lot going on there. The NBA is still. It's actually, I like where the NBA is going right now because it's that final stretch, the last month, 2 months or so before the playoffs actually hit. We're starting to see a lot going on. For starters, we normally start with baseball. Not really a whole lot going on, but I do want to start by giving a huge shout out to Michael Kopech of the Chicago White Sox, starting pitcher. He was out all of last year due to Tommy John surgery. He made his debut back today. Pitched a perfect inning in his spring training debut. He threw over 100 miles an hour multiple times. I think, didn't he hit like 104 at one point?
I'm not sure. I know his first 4 or 5 pitches were all triple digits.
Yeah, and I mean, for somebody, and I know that with modern medicine and surgery and the Tommy John, a lot of pitchers have shown a lot of improvement from what they were doing before.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see that he comes in healthy, throwing hard, and I mean, it's going to add a lot to what they've already got going on. Hopefully he can bring something to the starting rotation to add to hopefully save some runs, and we already have our bats going on. But I just wanted to give a huge shout out to Kopech for making a huge comeback. I think he's only like 23 years old, so there's a lot going on with him.
Yeah, normally guys don't come back and throw triple digits right away off of Tommy John. Sticking with White Sox news, Yoan Moncada got an extension.
He did. He got his extension. His deal, if I'm not mistaken, was for up to 90. I could be wrong. Maybe it was $70 million.
I think it was 70. I don't know how many years though. It might have been until his team control was up. I would not be surprised if it was 5 years. We're gonna have to double check on this one. I actually forgot about that until you started talking about Kopech.
Yeah, so they announced this past Friday. Let's see, what do we have here?
5 years, $70 million. So
yeah, there you go.
Was right on that one. Yoan Moncada, he is a third-year player now, I believe.
Yeah, he's only 24 years old.
So he's played technically 4 years in the bigs. His rookie year, or his rookie status, got exceeded in 2017. So technically this will be his 4th season. He wasn't expected to hit free agency until 4 years from now, but this new deal keeps him for a 5th year. So they get that extra year of team control. And if Yoan Moncada becomes a beast, they're going to have him at a very reasonable price. 5 years for $70 million, I believe, is 15? No,
it's going to be 5 into 70. That's wow, my math is off. It's been a while. I just want to say forgive us for
14.
Not knowing our math right now. So that's 14 mil.
Yeah, 14 million. So if he becomes not as great as he showed last year, but 14 million could be rough, but he's expected to become better, and 14 million should be cheap at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, he had a huge turnaround season last year. He batted .315, smacked a bunch of home runs. He just looked so much more comfortable at the plate, bats from both sides, and he did really well. So for the Sox, they did extend him in March. Just in general, they got Eloy Jimenez for 6 year, $43 million. They have Luis Robert, 6-year, $50 million. So I like this. They're spending money. They don't normally spend money. They're doing it. They're kind of in a win now mode. Kind of. Simply that they are dropping this amount of money. And so with the pitching and the return of Kopech, I wouldn't be surprised if they make a run at the pennant. And I'm not going to say that they're going to win the World Series like some others are, but I definitely would consider them a contender right now as we stand.
And it's good for the future because their window is starting now for a World Series, that in a couple years, let's say they do need a big guy and Yohan Moncada's gone off, they don't have to pay him $25 million in arbitration. They're going to be paying him $14, and they're saving that money that they could spend on someone else.
Exactly.
Gary Sanchez is out with an illness, with the flu. He has not been tested for coronavirus yet, so that is a little interesting. The Yankees, they just can't escape the injury bug.
It's just a bug. Yeah.
Spring training. And speaking of illness, no media is allowed in the locker rooms for Major League Baseball. I think it's the same for the NBA right now, NHL, and also MLS. I think they're all kicking the media out. So I don't know how that will affect the media and like affect these stories coming out. But it's definitely interesting. The leagues are trying to prevent this virus. Is it considered a virus? Yeah, coronavirus.
Yeah.
From spreading. So, and they don't want the players getting them at all. They're trying to keep the players safe and healthy so that they can play in the sport that they're performing in and keep up the entertainment that they're supposed to provide to people.
Exactly.
You don't want any of these guys catching it and then ruining the season because of it.
Exactly. Now, I know when it came down to, I mean, it's control. They're trying to control it, trying to make sure there's no widespread, and I don't blame the leagues for doing it. I thought it was kind of funny that, not to go off topic here, but LeBron was asked, you guys are still expected to play if there's no fans, and he said he wouldn't do it. I don't know, as a professional player, because he said, I don't want to play. He's like, I do it for the fans, But it's like, if the game's still scheduled, you got to play. You're playing for a championship. I wouldn't.
I don't know how serious he was on that. I think that was just more of a, look how good I am, kind of move. It was the right thing to say.
Yeah.
To the media. Not calling LeBron a bad person or not saying he did it on purpose. But
he was cautious.
That was the right thing to say. You don't want to say yeah, I would like to play with no people there, and then all the fans are like, dude, what the heck?
Do we not matter?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. You got to say that so that they're just oh, thanks LeBron, you're awesome. I want to still attend your games. He's going to play if the fans aren't there. The games are going to be scheduled. They're going to count the same.
They're all getting paid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially him. Imagine if he just sits out a game, how much he loses. Millions and millions.
Well, I guess it depends. I think he would get paid unless he got suspended.
Perhaps.
So, yeah.
Perhaps. Not if it's not a coach's call. But regardless, I know we're not going to get into predictions yet with baseball, with the MLB. We're going to give it another week or two before we give our, futuristic awards, right? You have your MVP, you might have your Cy Young Award, who's going to win the pennant, who's going to win what division, who's going to take home the crown, the World Series. I would like to make a wager with you if possible. I know you're a Cubs fan. I got my Sox hat on. You can't really see it.
Are you about to say win total?
Win total. I saw somebody post this the other day, and I thought this is very realistic. This is the year where Cubs are still good. Sox should be good. We don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the Sox are going to edge the Cubs out.
Right now, I think the Sox are going to have 87. The Cubs are going to have 84.
Oh, so you are saying the Sox are going to have more wins. Okay. So I guess we're not going to make a wager.
No, I'd be down. That's just what I think at the moment.
I think for every win, if I was a money gambling man, for every win that the Sox had over the Cubs, you would owe me that dollar amount or whatever. but we can do it since we're gentlemen. We can do like, say if the Sox have 10 more wins, then you owe me 10 beers. How does that sound?
Okay.
All right, deal.
Yeah.
And then vice versa. Cool. I would shake your hand, but there's a whole lot going on in the world.
Don't want to do that at the moment. Yeah.
All right. Anyways, so that's it for baseball. I wanted to give a huge shout out to Kopech. Transitioning over to the NFL, whole lot of nothing going on. But I do have a question. Just same thing as everybody else is asking. Where's Tom Brady going? Where is Brady gonna go? So far we have the rumors. The offers are there's four offers. For Tom Brady. One being the New England Patriots, obviously. Their offer, from what we're seeing, is 5 years for $125. And if I'm not mistaken, Tom
5 years?
5 years for $125.
How old is he? 43?
Yeah. So he's 42 years old. He was hoping to play until he's 45. At this rate, could he? I guess. He might have a lot of wear and tear. It'll catch up to him. His age will catch up. It is catching up to him. We've seen it the past couple of years. But with a good line and a good system, he may be able to play till he's 45. But 5 years for $125, that's averaging $25 million. Guaranteed is only $37.5.
Okay, so it's not as valuable and as big of a risk, I guess.
And his 3-year payout, if the option bonus is picked up, is $75 million. So the way they structured that is to work, assuming he's not going to play more than 3 years, right? And if he does, and is like, well, you guys drafted somebody, I'll play backup until I'm 48. Well, he just made a whole lot of cash. He probably won't play until he's 48, but we'll see about that. Again, this is reported by ESPN. Now, the other team, Los Angeles Chargers, offered him 2 years for $64 million. That's a more realistic offer.
Yeah.
$32 million a year, but they're offering him the $64 million fully guaranteed, which is a good chunk. Does he deserve it? Sure. I mean, it's Tom Brady, right? So that's a pretty good deal. Question is, does he fit in with the Chargers? They have Keenan Allen. They have talent. They do have Melvin Gordon, who I don't know if he's
a free agent.
We don't know if he's going to resign, but they
just signed Austin Eckler. So no, I'm not going to assume that he's.
And Austin Eckler's good though, and that's right up Tom Brady's alley. He's like a James White, but probably is a better running back.
Yeah.
So they do have that. They still have the defense there. They still have Joey Bosa, who's going to bring the heat every game.
And Derwin James.
Yeah, they have a great team. Like I said before, this is a team where they never won a Super Bowl since the LT era, since Drew Brees was there, which I was very surprised. And maybe, just maybe, bringing Tom Brady in to work with Hunter Henry at tight end and Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler, that's a pretty good offense. Maybe they can do something. And it's good money. The third offer, Tampa Bay Bucks, 3 years for $102 million. So you're looking at $34 million a year. They guaranteed him $68 million, which is a little bit more than what the Chargers are offering for fully guaranteed. I don't know. What do you think about him and the Bucks?
I think the Bucks actually had a decent record last year.
They weren't bad.
Famous Jameis had a bunch of touchdowns, a bunch of yards. He did throw a bunch of picks, though.
He did.
Which probably cost him a little bit. I don't know. I don't really know much of the Bucks in general. I don't really know how their team is. I don't know if they have a bunch of young guys with their cap situations. That just seems like a weird fit at the moment.
So, I don't know. It's tough because Jameis Winston, they don't have... I mean, I didn't look at the sack total, but I've watched a few games, and he wasn't always the most protected quarterback. And you have to think, well, last year, if you throw Brady in that offense, sure, they have Chris Godwin, they have Mike Evans, they have okay running backs, they have a committee. But here's the thing, Chris Godwin is a free agent this year. Dude is going to get a huge contract somewhere. Maybe they don't re-sign Jameis Winston. And because Jameis is going to try to get a lot of money after the year he had.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they can afford Chris Godwin, Tom Brady, Shaq Barrett's a free agent, their pass rusher. So we'll see what ends up happening. I just don't know if they're the best fit regardless. And the last offer, which I like, this option is the Titans.
Interesting.
4-year, $112 million. It would cause Ryan Tannehill to fall back to the bench, which, if I'm Ryan Tannehill, let it be. You're still getting paid. You're going to play behind Tom Brady. He might show you a thing or two, which I know Tannehill's been in the league for so long now. It's like, what else can he show him? It'd be 4 years, $112 million, guaranteed $56. 3-year payout would be $81 million. I like that because you can hand the ball off 30 times every game to Derrick Henry, and he's just going to pound through the line.
Yeah, and then go play action, and Tom Brady would be able to make the read. That fit seems nice.
If I'm Tom Brady, and because I'm pretty sure Derrick Henry's a free agent.
Yeah.
If they don't re-sign Derrick Henry or extend a contract for Derrick Henry, I don't know if I can go there. Because now you're going to put more pressure on me as a quarterback. And I know Tom Brady can do it. I mean, he's 42, plays better than most 30-year-olds in the league, right? But I think it makes the deal a little bit sweeter that you have not only a great defense, you not only have Mike Vrabel as the head coach, who was Tom Brady's teammate for a couple of Super Bowls, and then you add Derrick Henry to the mix, who is very well capable of having 200-yard games. We saw him do it not only throughout the regular season, we saw him do it against top-tier defenses. He tore up the Patriots. He ran great against the Chiefs.
The
Ravens. I mean, he's a great running back who I think this will make all the difference whether or not Tom Brady goes. I still think I'm seeing Tom Brady. I just don't see him going elsewhere outside of a Patriot uniform. There's never been a player to play at least 20 seasons and go to a different team in the NFL.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to stay that way. I think they're going to offer him a great deal. They're going to give him a flexible contract. Retire when you want. We want you to retire a Patriot. Here's your money. If he goes to the Titans, do I think that they're a Super Bowl contender? Absolutely. As long as they have, obviously, Henry in the backfield.
Yeah, they need Henry, I think. If they don't, I don't think it's there. They do have a stud wide receiver that would help Tom Brady out, but I don't know. I just don't see it. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be tough. It would be tough. Now, next week's episode is going to be a special one because free agency starts. That's when, I mean, there's so many notable free agents, and I mean, a lot of guys who potentially may end up getting franchise tagged too. Like we know AJ Green is up there. So
well, that's today.
Is that today's the deadline for that?
Yeah, they extended it until like midnight. Like we already know Yannick Ngakoue or whatever, he got franchise tagged. I'm not too sure if any other people have. We could take a look at Schefter right now. Adam. But yeah, the deadline for that is tonight. And yeah, all I know of is Yannick at the moment. I'm not too sure on anyone else.
So they have a it looks like, so they moved the deadline after the player CBA vote. So there's 2 tags from what I'm reading, and I don't know how this works. So they have candidates. They can apply the tag to 2 different players, and I'm not sure if that's based on 1 and 2. Like if 1 doesn't sign, then it goes to 2. But from what I'm seeing, it looks like teams like Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott, Amari Cooper are amongst that, and then the Titans, Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry are candidates for that as well.
They have 2 tags now?
I don't know how that works exactly. This is something I'm just seeing for the first time, and I don't know if it's based on contingency, based on you're number 1, so if you sign, then the other tag just goes away, or if it's actual both tags.
Because technically, if you franchise tag someone, like they aren't a free agent, the player can't be like, no, I'm not doing it.
He'd have to sit out, which we've seen historically.
I don't know. Not too sure on that.
Not sure what that is, but regardless, that does end tonight. Next Thursday is the free agency. They're open to sign. Again, leading up to it historically, teams and players verbally agree, so we'll see it in the news. We'll see it in the ticker. Schefter, we'll see.
Yeah, as soon as the franchise tagging is done tonight, teams can legally start speaking to guys.
Okay.
So you will see, I think Schefter tweeted out, he's like, yeah, you'll see legal tampering at this point.
Legal tampering.
Yeah.
I like how that works.
So we'll see it at the end of tonight. We'll talk about it next week. I think a lot of guys will have deals in place by the next episode.
Yeah. Next episode for sure. We'll see a lot. But that's pretty much it. Not a whole lot going on with the NFL. Just wanted to touch base. Where's Tom Brady going?
Marshall Yanda retired.
I did see that.
Big blow for the Ravens.
Yeah, that was how many? He spent like 14 seasons there, right? I mean, he was a Pro Bowler.
We will see. I don't know if it was 14. I know he's been in the league for a little bit. 14, especially for a lineman, seems like a stretch.
13, almost 13 years.
Oh,
13 years. Eight Pro Bowls. That's
13
pretty
years.
damn good. He's 35 years old. He's a big boy. So, I mean, he hell of a career. Shout out to him. That's a.
At least he did win a Super Bowl.
He did
at some point.
Yep. So
he was like a key piece to that O-line, though. So it'll be interesting to see how they replace him. Well, I think they'll be fine. That O-line was pretty good. That offense was pretty good.
They have Lamar Jackson. Just let him in. Send 22. He's gonna figure out a way to shake everybody off. So,
NBA time.
NBA. Yeah. I mean, the tale of the story. I mean, the past few days, past couple weeks. Now that we're past the All-Star weekend, LeBron James is dominating.
Yeah, he's been going off this past weekend. I think they played 3 games in a row. This was that stretch where they had the makeup game for Kobe finally place, and they played the Bucks, they played the Clippers, and I can't remember the other team, but they won all 3, I think, back to back.
So it was the Sixers they beat.
Ooh, without Joel and Ben Simmons.
Yes. They've been hurt. They'll come back around playoff time, hopefully, because that's a good team, minus on the road. So that was on March 3rd. So they did have a couple days in between. The Bucks came there Friday. It was a good game. Giannis was lights out first quarter. LeBron got shut down first quarter, and the whole rest of the game it was LeBron's. LeBron took over. Anthony Davis took over. It was a good game. It was a really good game. LeBron's defense on Giannis was something LeBron has always shown signs of, okay, maybe he knows how to stick defense, maybe he doesn't. But in this game, he played extremely well. And, I mean, even Giannis had a great game. And they still ended up winning. Obviously, it helps that you have Anthony Davis and some other key players.
Role players, yeah.
And then they went on the road against the Clippers. See what I did there?
Yeah.
And on Sunday, and they beat the Clippers, who had Paul George, who balled out. Kawhi Leonard had a pretty decent game too, but Kawhi Leonard also got shut down a few times when he would drive. Normally, Kawhi Leonard gets into the paint at will, and LeBron and a few other players were putting a body on him. Avery Bradley had a hell of a game. And I know you mentioned it is...
All of a sudden, now it's like, oh, LeBron's the MVP. LeBron is he beat Giannis. He beat the Clippers full strength. He is the MVP at this moment. You're going to take 2 games out of the whole year and claim LeBron now as the MVP? I get that he's had a good stretch, but Giannis has had still the best player efficiency rating of all time for a single season, and his numbers are ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's averaging like 28, 13 boards, like 6 or 7 assists.
His numbers are stupid. That's how good they are. They're stupid. It makes no sense. Like, I get it. And I don't get me wrong, I'm a huge LeBron fan. I've always been a LeBron fan since he got drafted. I've been in multiple debates where it's Jordan over LeBron, and I'm always playing devil's advocate because all the reasons that people say Jordan is better than LeBron, it's like the reasoning, the logic behind it doesn't make sense because, well, I don't want to get into it right now. I do believe Jordan is the best player of all time. It's just people's arguments. I can always combat that with, LeBron's better in this area. LeBron didn't have this.
It's comparable.
That's how I feel about LeBron. LeBron is one of my favorite players. Is he the MVP this year? No. Hell no. It's definitely Giannis. Giannis still put up crazy numbers in that game. He had a hell of a game, like he does every game. I think he had a down game like 2 or 3 games ago where he put up like 14 points, something where he just was horrible.
Yeah.
But guess what? He's human. He's going to have a bad game. Every other game, I would expect him to shit on you. He's going to shit on you. He's going to shit on the Lakers. He's going to shit on everybody. Now, he doesn't have the supporting cast LeBron has. He doesn't have, sure, he has an Eric Bledsoe, who some players know him as Drew Bledsoe. He has a Chris Middleton, who's pushing 30, who is good. He's a great 3-point shooter. Doesn't really do much besides that. And that's it. That's it.
And they still have the best record in the NBA.
Still the best record in the NBA. So is LeBron on a tear right now? Is he the best player in the past couple weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. But MVP, you can't take that away from Giannis. And I know a lot of people have been saying it. I mean, you're on Twitter all the time. I've been seeing it on Twitter.
Yeah.
They're saying LeBron shut down Giannis. No, he didn't. He didn't. I mean, there's a couple plays where he had some good plays on him, but Giannis is still the best player in the league. And it's going to continue that way. And he's going to dominate through the playoffs. Now, LeBron has Anthony Davis, right? And nobody else. I mean, everybody else is role players. You have Rajon Rondo, who, 12, 13 years ago was considered one of the best point guards in the game. And he's still good. He's talented. But, I mean, come on. Dwight Howard, role player. I like Kyle Kuzma. He's been quiet this year, but he's going to be great down the stretch in the playoffs. But this team, he has Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
He has another MVP. Anthony Davis has been
top
MVP.
5 player in the league.
Yeah, almost every year since when he's healthy. Mm-hmm. And Giannis just doesn't have that. And for what he's doing, his numbers, and what the team's doing, he's the MVP.
I'm going to say this right now. If Giannis doesn't win it over LeBron, I am going to be absolutely furious. Probably going to go on a rant. And, well, it depends on the last few weeks. Right now, though, Giannis, clear MVP. And I swear, if voter fatigue plays a factor this year, just because Giannis won it last year and LeBron has the better storyline this year because the Lakers they're the 1 seed again. Oh my God, LeBron has dominated the West. Nobody ever thought he would. And he's leading the league in assists while still averaging like 24 points a game. That's what will get LeBron the MVP. And I think it is stupid in that way. Instead of giving it to the best player, they give it to whoever has the best storyline. And Giannis isn't really like LeBron level in terms of like popularity. He plays in Milwaukee. Just in general, he's a foreign player, so he's not all like hip with American like sponsorships and like speaking to the media and all that. And I feel like it is a possibility that LeBron could win the MVP, and especially it's his age 35 year. LeBron is playing out of his mind. Give him that MVP. And it's going to be a whole storyline thing in which
That's usually what they end up doing. And with it being LeBron, they'll probably give him a 5-hour special, and they'll talk about what he ate on Tuesday. Ha, just kidding. We already know what that is. And historically, there have been a lot of players who won back-to-back. If you're going to give Steve Nash back-to-back MVPs, you better give my boy Giannis back-to-back MVPs. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Steve Nash was great, especially during a time when he was putting up 13 assists a game. He had a jumper that was out of this world. He was kind of, leading that Phoenix Suns team. Mm-hmm. Giannis doesn't have anybody. He is the definition of the most valuable player. You have to give it to him. If he doesn't win it and LeBron gets it, well, sit LeBron for 5 games. I guarantee you Anthony Davis is going to step up and put up 30 and 15. Like he's not already averaging 26 and 15 on the year or whatever he's averaging with 2 blocks, 2 steals. We talked about it last week. Anthony Davis is up for Defensive Player of the Year.
Same with Giannis.
Right. So you're going to give him Defensive Player of the Year and MVP to the same team? How does that work?
I don't know.
I mean, the Bulls, I
don't know at all.
I don't want to get into it. The Bulls did it. Michael's done it before. But I don't know. I just think Giannis has to win it. Is LeBron second? Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I'll give him 2. Why not?
But finishing first at this moment, no, can't happen.
They already clinched. Anthony Davis, there's not really a story for the team, though. Like, I think a lot of people forget that MVP comes down to how valuable are you as a player to the team?
Mm-hmm.
Like, sure, if LeBron goes down, are they going to be a 500 team? I mean, that's up in the air. We don't know. But, I mean, as far as Giannis goes, Giannis sits, and this team is horrible. I'm going to take the Bulls 10 games out of 10 over them. They'll be in the playoffs next year.
Yeah.
It's not happening this year. Next year, Kobe White's going to be a starter next year, and
he's starting his first game tonight.
Yeah, I know. I'm happy.
Finally, he's getting a start.
Well deserved. He's been balling out of this world. I don't know if they actually coined the nickname phrase for him yet because he's number 0 and he's got a jumper. He's ice cold. Should be sub-zero. We don't know yet, but I mean, if that's what I've been reading online, and I was trying to come up with my own, but that he needs to be sub-zero at this point. And then as far as the NBA, that's I think we're at the point where there's a turn for the Rookie of the Year as well.
Oh, with the Zion?
Zion, yeah.
He's been killing it lately.
It's hair, bro.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know.
See that alley-oop?
Oh, man.
It was like a half-court, three-fourth court alley-oop.
He had 2 alley-oops in that first half, or in that game.
He's just a bully, and it's amazing to see. He's going up against all these veteran guys as if they're high school kids.
I remember years ago seeing on Facebook, Twitter, even Instagram, people were posting this kid in high school.
Yeah, he was 14 at the time.
14, throwing windmills down like it's his job. And he's still doing it in the pros. Mm-hmm. And I love Ja Morant. He's great. He's almost shit on. He's almost dunked on Kevin Love and so many other players. He almost had one last week. And I love him as a player. I think he's great for the Memphis organization. They're going to have a great team in the next couple of years. I cannot wait to see what they do. Hopefully they do it right. But Zion right now, averaging what he is, to me, even though he missed almost half the year, is the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go based off who played more games. I'm going to go based off who came in, played enough games. Sure, if Zion ends up playing 30, almost 40 games and is averaging 24, 23 a game, he's more exciting.
Yeah. And puts up great stats.
Puts up great stats. And while Brandon Ingram is putting up good numbers, normally when somebody's putting up great numbers, somebody falls back. I know with this day and age with basketball, there's usually 2 guys per team that's dominating.
They're averaging 20 plus
20 plus, yeah, exactly. But to see Zion doing what he's doing, I'm excited.
And dominating.
I mean, that is a grown-ass man. And he's like 18, 19 years old.
Yeah. I did not expect him with like the weight and stuff on him.
I didn't either.
That he would come in and make an impact. I thought he was just going up against guys that weren't his size, and it made it look easy. And then he would come into the NBA and there'd be a bunch of fundamentals he didn't have down, and guys would actually be his size. But no, he is bullying people, and no one can get in front of him.
No one can stop him.
No one can get in front of him.
He weighs like, what, 280?
Yeah.
He's like 280. And in my head, I'm like, man, this guy needs to cut weight. 280 is big. Like, that's like Shaq size almost when he came into the league. Shaq was a little, like, 7 foot.
Yeah, 7'2".
7'2", yeah. Just imagine if he dropped, I mean, I don't even know if he needs to, if he dropped 20 pounds.
Yeah, 260.
260? Can you imagine how much faster he would be? I'd be scared that he's just going to go through the backboard at some point because of how fast he is.
Yeah.
But he's great. I love watching him play. He's definitely my Rookie of the Year. I don't know if you use the Pelicans and NBA 2K. They're a very deadly team to use with Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball changed his shot. Did you see that?
He's been averaging like 17 points the past couple of days.
They are making out on this Lakers trade like they just hit the Powerball. They just hit the jackpot. And we knew it, too, that they would be, okay, give it a couple of years. This is year 1, and this team could potentially make the playoffs. Like, everybody's balling on a whole nother level. They have Drew Holiday, veteran. They have Lonzo Ball, who's starting to come around. His jumper's there. He's averaging probably a double-double a game in the last couple weeks. Add Zion, Brandon Ingram. I don't even know who their center is. Derek Favors?
Yeah.
They have Derek Favors, who just got dunked on, too.
Drew Holiday. They have Josh Hart.
Yeah, Josh Hart.
Do they have JJ Redick?
Redick, I don't think JJ Redick is there. Is he? Is he still there? I haven't heard much from JJ Redick. I know he's averaging like 15 points a game last time I checked. Yeah, he's a Pelican.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's averaging 15 points a game quietly off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
great team, or he might even start some games because he's a veteran.
He hasn't played recently, but
so at 35 years old, still doing it. I like this team. Next year for sure, playoffs. 2-3 years contenders.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's my take on that. One thing, did you see Jamal Murray yesterday? Did you see his dunk?
He got a poster, and it was an offensive foul. I don't know how.
What the? What was that?
And the guy was like standing inside the restricted area.
And he jumped.
So it was a block.
He jumped.
Yeah.
This should have been an and one. I mean, it was one of the nastiest posters I've seen this year. He threw it down on him. It's better when a guard does it because, I mean, they have to get up, and he did. I mean, Jamal Murray's been balling out. The Nuggets are going to be a team to watch in the playoffs. They just play so well together. Do I see them taking a series against the Lakers? No, but can they take 2 games? I definitely think they could.
Remember we talked about them earlier in the year?
We did. We had a friend that was like, "Oh, what about the Nuggets?" And I was all for it.
And I was like, I don't see it.
And in my head, I was like, "No, I see it," because last year they were great. They have a great genetic makeup. Nikola Jokic does not get enough credit, and everybody else falls into place. They have great scorers. They have Barton. They have Jamal Murray. They just have great players. Gary Harris. So Jokic, yeah, that's the first one I said. He's great. I mean, and he can facilitate. He can pass the ball extremely well. So, I don't know. I'm excited for the playoffs this year. I'm happy. I'm so happy that Kawhi didn't go to the Lakers. I'm happy that he made it.
Just imagine, though, LeBron, Kawhi, and Anthony Davis this season, they would have had a very good winning record.
I feel like they would have, but I feel like they would have rotated on who was going to take the night off.
Yeah.
But even then, that's not even fair for the league. You're going to have guys fresh, all LeBron, AD, and Kawhi fresh going into the playoffs. It's not even fun. So, and Giannis would not be able to stop all 3. I'm sorry. But all 3 were on the same team for the All-Star game. Yeah.
And that was fun to watch.
That was. So I'm excited for the playoffs. Steph Curry came back and has sat out the last 2 games like I said he would. He's sick. He has, they call it the basic flu, the regular flu. So he's going to sit out. Like I said, we're only going to see a handful of games from him, but he was exciting to watch. I'm happy he's back. I'm excited for next season for that Warriors team. He just makes everybody better.
Yeah.
And they have Damian Lee, who I think is his brother-in-law, who is, I don't know if this is true, is what I was reading, who's playing pretty damn well too. He's been, like, the last few games leading up to Steph Curry coming back. Steph Curry comes back. He still puts up 20 points with him. So I like what this team has. So.
And they'll get a top rookie if they get the number 1 pick, too.
Exactly. So we'll see. The league's getting a lot better. More talented players, more teams with more talent, so to speak. So.
Yeah, that will pretty much do it for this week's episode of the Standing Room Only podcast. If you guys have not followed us already on Twitter and Instagram at SROnlyPod, you could hit us up there for questions, or if you want to discuss something, let us know. We'll talk about it in a future episode. You can follow myself on Twitter and Instagram at TheHealy6, and you can follow Goose.
I'm at iGoose. That's with 4 O's. Again, don't ask why. Just go ahead, hit the follow button. Most importantly, make sure you subscribe to us and follow us on social media, Apple Podcasts, Standing Room Only, Spotify as well. Yeah. YouTube, if you guys want a visual. Again, Healy's more beautiful than I am, but that's not the point. It's not a competition, right? And yeah.
Make sure you guys leave a rating, download it. And, subscribe. And we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.